14.
Okay, there we go. So I don't know if it's showing me or not, but I just want to
It is.
welcome everyone that is watching this later, and maybe you're coming later. There are a couple of people that have signed up for this slideshow that are actually coming on my safari in a couple months in December. Almost the same itinerary, but I think one of the hotels is different. So that's the only difference. And then I'll take time for questions afterwards. Um, and so I got a bunch of pictures. I never really know which ones to show or how long it's going to take. So now I'm sharing the screen, the slideshow, and so this particular safari that I'm talking about is for next September of 2025. It's called the Safari Splendor. I actually have 6 safaris on the schedule for next year um, because we started our own actual safari business, so I get to do it more often than just once a year or so. So first of all, for those that don't know me, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm Karen Cleveland. I live in the Seattle-ish area, Seattle, Washington state. And this is a picture of me well, I'll talk about the place in a little bit, but I first went on safari several years ago after a lifelong desire to do it. Finally went, and I decided on that safari that I had to come home and bring friends with me. I thought I'd be coming home and sharing pictures and on to the next thing, but it didn't work out that way. So my next trip is the one in the top left. That's my husband next to me, Patterson. My mom's in front of me, and then some of my friends that came with me, and Patterson's brother was the other guide on that trip as well. And then some of his family down there in the corner that only one of them is his child in that whole group, but they all kind of live together, close together in the village that he's from. So I love being able to do this now, to take people. I um yeah, I've been in pharmacy, I've been an IT person, I've been a project manager, I've been a minister, I've been an animal communicator, and I guess now I like to kind of combine some of both my minister and animal communication skills into having a deeper connection on the safaris. So that's what I do. So the first stop on this particular safari, and same for the December safari, is a place called Samburu National Reserve. I haven't actually been here yet, but I'm very excited to go. So I only have a few pictures from here that I took off the internet and off some of the lodge sites. So this is the Sarova Shaba Lodge up there, and you can see it's right on the river. It's got a pool, it's got, it's cabins and lodgings all around. You can get up in the morning, you can go out or you can just sit and, watch the animals while you're having breakfast, or whatever you want to do, but it's right there. The animals are around. So one of the reasons I'm excited to go to Samburu is because they have these endangered species. So the Gravy's zebra is not the common zebra that you see all over the place. This is, I don't know if you can tell, but the stripes are smaller, closer together. And so this is unique to this area, not just this park, but in this general area of Kenya that we're going to. So there's something they call the Samburu Five, and it's 5 animals that you don't find a lot outside of this area. So here's just another shot of that zebra. You'll see more zebras later. Another unusual animal they have is the reticulated giraffe, and I'll show you the difference in a minute, but this one kind of looks like it's stones with the grout in between them. It looks kind of like a sidewalk or something, the way that its spots are. That's the reticulated giraffe that they have in Samburu, and then this is a Maasai giraffe that they have most of the other places. So you can see it's its squares or spots are a little different. Anyway, so we'll see that. We'll see the this is a Garanuk, and it's also called a giraffe gazelle because it has a long neck, longer than most gazelles, and it likes to reach up and eat the trees that the giraffes eat as well. And then there's some other animals that are called the Samburu Five. But in addition to those, we will also see many other animals. They have a very high population of, or a high, I guess, a lot of varied animals that we'll be seeing. You know, in addition to the big five, mostly the big five, not the rhinoceros, but you'll see a lot of different, we will see a lot of different animals there as well. They also have the Samburu people, which is similar to the Maasai tribe, but they are a little different. They're not quite as nomadic, and they are in this northern region of Samburu. So I think we'll be able to make a visit there and talk to them a little bit. They are primarily herders, so they have, you know, goats and cattle. They drink a lot of milk apparently, and they do a lot of this bead work. But so we'll probably have an opportunity to see the Samburu tribe some. So after that, we leave and we go to a place called Ol Pejeta, which is fairly close. What I love about Ol Pejeta is you will definitely see rhinoceros there. And they're a conservancy for rhinoceros, and this is where we will see Baraka, the blind rhino, and have a moment to interact with him personally if you choose to. So there they are. There's from the last trip interacting with the blind rhino Baraka. This is also the location that they have the last two surviving white northern white rhinos. There's only two of them left in the world. I don't have pictures of them, but we can see those as well. And then they also have this rhinoceros cemetery that just honors all the rhinoceros that have been lost to poaching and to natural causes. Poaching has gone down significantly, but it's still a major concern. They still have to be very, very active in keeping the poachers out. It's amazing how bold and brazen the poachers are. And like I said, we see a variety of other animals. Here's a baboon. You can see the little baby baboon on the bottom there being carried by its mama. Cheetahs. We will go out in vehicles like this. We have a brand new Land Cruiser with air conditioning, power at the seats, a refrigerator inside it. So we will be in vehicles similar to this. They have the pop-up roof to look out. They also have big windows that you can sit down and look out if you don't want to stand up. So there's lions. That's an upside down lion just being lazy, laying there. Gazelles, zebras. This is one of the tented, so Ol Pejeta is a tented camp, and this is the tent. They're luxury tents. They have bathrooms in the back. It might be kind of hard to tell, but there's a shower on one side and a toilet on the other side. So it's fully, every place we stay has a in-room bathroom, hot water, electricity, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi in some of the areas, but in most areas there's also Wi-Fi available. So they're not uncomfortable by any means. And the last time I was at Ol Pejeta, I actually this was not taken from my toilet, but I was pretty excited because oh no, oh yeah, there we go. Because I was able to sit in my bathroom and I could look out through the window and look at the water hole across the way and see the animals. And this the buffalo here are very dangerous. I was a little intimidated because they hate humans and they will attack. They're one of the most dangerous for humans in Kenya. But there's a big like ditch or a big valley and a big berm there. So I guess he's not able to get across, at least. That's what they assure me. Another activity, there are a bunch of activities you can do besides the game drives. This is a run with rangers at Ol Pejeta, but there's also a night drive, there's horseback riding, there's there's spa services if you want to do a spa service. So there are a bunch of different options available if you don't feel like going out on a game drive and looking at the animals with us. So after Ol Pejeta, we head to Lake Naivasha and Lake Elementaita. So there's a couple things that I really love about this area. So this is just the swimming pool there. Every place has a swimming pool. And so, that's one of your options too. But the animals are right on the grounds. Now, there's no dangerous animals. There's no buffalo. There's no carnivores on the grounds. There's zebra and giraffes and water bucks and antelopes, that kind of thing. So they're still dangerous. Actually, there is hippos. So you do need an escort when the hippos come out, which is at nighttime, because the hippos are very, very dangerous. Hippos kill, I think, more people than any other animal except for the mosquito. So so you do need an escort once it gets dark, but otherwise you're free to walk around. They will come find you. The escorts will come find you if you're getting too close. It's still wildlife. They're still wild. And so they kick, they bite, they do those things that wildlife do if people get too close to them. So you do need to be careful. This particular lodge that we stay at, this is a lounge. You can sit there and sometimes you can watch the animals from outside, although it's a pretty populated area. It's the sidewalks that are outside. So we are on Lake Naivasha, and one of the things we do is we go out in a boat to see a lot of the birds. So a lot of marine birds and hippos. We need to be very careful, of course, going out with the hippos. But then we also do just a short drive away is Lake Elementaita. And this is where we see a lot of flamingos and pelicans and other of the water bird animals, or other, I should say birds, I guess. I don't know if I mentioned there was an opportunity, this is extra, but to ride through some of the areas that where they wildlife are, to ride horses through there. This is at the lodge. These there's been a lot of discussion about what these giraffes are doing. I think most people told me that they are trying to prove their dominance, that these are probably two teenage males, and they're not exactly fighting each other, but they are trying to show each other who's boss. But it was very interesting to sit there and watch them do this. And when you see the zebras walk up, you'll see how small the zebras are and how big these giraffes actually are. It's kind of amazing how big they are, because when you see pictures, you don't really have a point of reference, but that zebra is underneath the belly of the giraffe, so they are big animals. This is the inside of one of the rooms at Lake Naivasha. It's either a balcony or a deck that just opens up to the outside. You do need to be careful here not to leave doors and windows open, because there is a little coffee stand here inside the room, with sugar and creamer and stuff. The monkeys have learned that they know exactly where it is, and they can get inside that door and over to the sugar and back outside before you even realize what they've done. So you don't want to leave it unattended, because the monkeys will come in and steal stuff. And this is a night photo. There's the hippos on the grass eating, so they come out of the water at night to graze, and they graze while it's dark. And I think there's a couple other animals there as well, but of course it's not very clear because it was dark out. And then after Lake Naivasha, we head to Masai Mara. And Masai Mara is, I've decided, where someone can take me if I'm ever like on hospice, and just let me sit and watch all the animals because it's so vast, it's so huge and expansive, and there is such an abundance of animals there. Pretty much every kind, not every kind of animal, but there are so many animals in Masai Mara. It's almost a must see. And let's see, um, for the September safari, this isn't the video I thought I got, but this is the very, very tail end on this video of the wildebeest migration, when the wildebeest and the zebras migrate from Tanzania up through Kenya before they head back down to Tanzania again. So you can kind of see the wildebeest in the back. It's obviously not a very good video, and they're just kind of walking along in the back. But that happens pretty much July, August, September for that. Of course, there's herds of elephants in Masai Mara, so we'll see a lot of elephants. Big, mighty, amazing beasts. Or not, I don't know, not beasts, creatures. Ostrich. There's two ostrich with the baby. The dark one is the male. The lighter colored one is the female. Here's some more, just a picture of some buffalo. This is this is a lodge we're staying at, although it just occurred to me this may or may not be the lodge, but they're all similar. They're all equal quality swimming pools, bars, buffet restaurants. They're all very good. In fact, some of them have their own vegetable garden that you know, they get their own vegetables. Some of them are really working on being more sustainable and eco-friendly. Oh, I think this is probably the wildebeest, yes. Here's a different video of the wildebeest. It's just kind of interesting to sit and watch them. Not all day, but for a little while. They just keep moving. Don't know where they're going. Well, they know where they're going. They're either going for food or water or a safe place to have their animals. But here's a bunch of giraffes in Masai Mara. We never figured out, something startled them in those bushes. We never figured out what it was, but there was something that kind of spurred them on to move. And then, like I said, you can sit down in the vehicle, the windows open. They're big windows. You can easily look out and also see the animals, or stand up and look out, like I said before. Lots of lions, lots of big cats throughout Kenya, but especially in Masai Mara. They're generally pretty easy to see. In fact, this one startled me. This one actually scared me when he started walking towards me. And I was in the vehicle, and I was safe, of course, but it's still kind of kind of got the anxiety going a little bit. So uh just I just think they're so cute, obviously. So another thing to do in Masai Mara, if you choose to, is hot air balloon. It's pretty amazing to be up there because, as I said, it's so expansive. And we're right on the border of Tanzania and the Serengeti. So if you don't know, the Serengeti is the Masai Mara. So Serengeti is the Tanzania side, Masai Mara is the Kenya side. And it's massive. So to be up there and to be able to see it practically forever, and then also seeing the animals below you, which sometimes you get pretty high, they're hard to see, but sometimes you're a little bit close to them. And after the hot air balloon ride, they always give you you go up early in the morning. So you get up very, very early. So you're there for sunrise, and then you go for breakfast when it's all over. Another part of Masai Mara is the Maasai tribe. And You can do a visit to the Maasai village if you want to, where they will, tell us about their dances. They will show us the things they make. They will tell us about their lifestyle and how how they've been doing things for years. They are nomadic, so their villages are only, I think, for maybe 10 years at the most before they move on. So they're moving around, and they do have herds. They're shepherds basically. And they have very bright colors on. I was going to show a picture. I don't think I have a picture left on this of clothes. I'll go back and find it when we're done. Actually, I'll talk about that when this is all done. Hippo at the river. So this is one of the rivers between Tanzania and Kenya. There's hippos, there's crocodiles. There will be a dinner with the drivers and the guides the last night, wherever that might be. We just have a dinner together and celebrate. Normally, we don't have dinner together. We do as a group, because in the lodges they reserve a table for our rooms. And then we can go in and, you can sit anywhere at the table, go in whatever time you're ready to go in and sit there. And the I just sorry, lost my train of thought. Anyway, so there is one dinner where we eat with them at the very end, So for this particular safari, inclusions include, well, let me just tell you first that it does not include airfare to and from Kenya, any optional expenses, travel insurance, that kind of thing. It does include all the meals once we pick you up for a safari, 3 meals a day, water, park fees. It does include tips. So when it's a group safari with me, it does include tips for the guides, the drivers, and the lodges. And also it includes air evac insurance in case, we're out in the middle of Masai Mara if something happens and you have to be evacuated. It's nice to have that insurance. Hi, Bridget. I'm glad you joined us. We're getting close to the end, but I will answer any questions and send you the video when we're all done. So for this particular safari, it's $5,610 for 2 people, $64.90 for 1 person. All the information is on there, which of course you will get, you'll get the recording later. I know it's a lot to read through right now. So these are actually old things, but the only reason I am showing this slide is because of the QR code. If you want to talk about something, talk about safaris, you can make an appointment here. So you can either just use your phone and take a picture of it, or go to bit.ly/chat safari, and I'm happy to talk to you about safaris. It's a place to make an appointment. So I wanted to go back to, I just want to go back to a picture. Let me figure out how to get back there. I guess I'm just going to have to go back. So Bridget, you get the reverse slideshow here really fast. Going back to the rhino cemetery. Okay, so what I wanted to show you here is clothing, because I get a lot of questions about what it's okay to wear on safari. And because these safaris are not strenuous, they're not hiking safaris, they're not, I mean, this is the walking we do. Actually, the most walking we do is to and from our cabins, which can be a little ways sometimes. Unless you choose to do more, unless you do a walk with rangers, or you go use, some of the places have gyms, they don't all, but if you choose to do more, you absolutely can. But because we're primarily a vehicle safari, sandals are just fine. Shorts are fine. Bright colors are fine. There's no limitations except for camouflage. I like to tell people, make sure you're comfortable, make sure you take care of yourself as far as the sun and the insects. So whether that's long sleeves or, sunscreen, it's up to you. Oops. Okay. I don't know where I am now. Oh, there we go. So, the, and layers, because the mornings are cool. So in Kenya, it's pretty consistent year round. It does get warmer in some places. So like Linda, who's on the call, and if Cher watches later, people that are coming with me this December, we are going to a village that will be a little bit warmer. It's not going to be terrible while we're there, but if we were to go in January, when I'll be there, it'll be very hot. So out on safari, though, it's pretty even year round. Pretty moderate. I mean, 80s during the day. If you're in the direct sun, it's going to be warm. So again, just make sure your clothing is comfortable and you do have layers, because it does get cool at night, down to the 50s and 60s. Okay. I am just going to, I wonder if I can set this on automatic. I don't think so. I'm going to put a picture up behind me. I'm going to stop the slideshow if I can figure it out. And then I'll just put a picture up behind me and answer any questions that you might have. So it always takes me a while to figure this out, though. Background and effects. Here we go. All right, Masai Mara. Okay. I don't know how to get out of it now. Okay, there we go. All right, any questions I can answer? So, like I said, Bridget, just so you know, someone on the call, or someone, Linda on the call, is actually coming with me in December. It's almost the same itinerary. But so I might be answering different questions for this trip versus next year, but they're pretty much the same. So, any questions? Yes, Linda. And do you prefer to be called Lindy? Because I know, okay, and you're on mute, just so you know. Oh, yeah, you're still on mute, so I don't know. I'm in the way of the lion. There we go.
My concern is you had recommended Costco as a travel pharmacy, but I don't understand which shots I need.
Okay. Yeah, so someone had told me that they were contacted Costco. Okay, and when she told me the recommendations they gave her, I said, that's a lot. There's nothing required to get into Kenya. So let's start with that. There's no absolute requirements. That your doctors might recommend yellow fever. And with yellow fever, you get a yellow card. Once you have the yellow card, it's good for lifetime. Kenya doesn't require to see the yellow card when you come in, unless you're coming from a country where there's a problem. I don't know which countries those are, but the United States is not one of them. So coming from the United States, I guess I should start with that. So Bridget, the answer might be different for you on what you need to have. But from the United States and Canada, there's no requirement. So they might recommend, though, yellow fever. I did get yellow fever several years ago. The vaccine, not the fever. I take the typhoid pills every 5 years. I personally recommend that. I think the doctors recommend that, but again, it's not required. It's just for personal peace. I also, my history is healthcare, so I already had some of the hepatitis vaccines. I think they recommend hepatitis A, which I didn't get everything my first trip because I thought it was my only trip. Once I realized I was going to be going to Kenya a lot, then I started getting more things. So it kind of depends on, your philosophy and what vaccines you like to get. But I did end up getting hepatitis A, which I think is the 2-shot one. And I do take malaria pills while I'm there. And there's 2 ways to take malaria pills. You do have to take them before you leave and after you come back. So it's like if you're gone for 9 days, you have to take them, depending on which pill, anywhere from like 15 days to 30 days. So you do want to talk to someone about which pill you want to take. Which reminds me, I guess I got to talk to my doctor about that pretty soon. I think those are the main things. And then, flu and COVID is entirely up to you. No requirements. The Costco told this other person that's coming that she had to have COVID and the flu vaccine, and that's not true. So, those are the primary vaccines that, at least that my doctor, so I go to the travel doctor. I don't go to him every time, but every now and then I go and see them and they just let me know what they think I should have since I go so much now. The other thing I do take with me, just in case, is some zithromycin, just in case I get some kind of dysentery. So it can clean that up. And with it, some, I think it's called Lamodal for diarrhea. Does that help any?
Yes. Now, there's recent flooding in Kenya. Does that affect any more shots that we need this trip versus a year ago?
That's a great question. So when they have the flooding, the things that usually come up are like the malaria and the typhoid, that kind of stuff. And so those should take care of that. I have not heard that anything else is needed. And most of the flooding, yeah, it was this spring for sure. They had some flooding, but I just went on the state website the other day and I didn't see any other recommendations. So,
Okay, and there was a CDC warning about Rwanda last week having a new blood disease. Do we need, or I don't, I'm ignorant. Do we need anything for that?
so I don't know which one that is. There have been cases of they call it monkeypox, Mpox.
Yes.
Is it that one that you're referring to?
Um, it's a new one.
Okay.
All I know is it was Rwanda.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up. But I do
It's
know, so if you hear about the monkeypox, it is shared by close contact. And so there have been 2 cases in Kenya, and it's been people that have come across the border.
okay.
So just, be aware if you're getting close to local people, if you're hugging anyone, if you're shaking hands, if you're being very close to them, just to 99.99% of the people don't have it. Probably, Actually, they were both people that were crossing the border going to somewhere else. So there may or may not be anyone in Kenya itself with it right now, but it's just good to be aware of
Okay,
because it could. So, but disinfectant, from what I understand, will take care of that. So just be, just mind your cleanliness, I guess. Hygiene, normal hygiene. I'm gonna look up, you said Rwanda.
yes.
Um, Rwanda.
Two people died within the last week, is what I
Oh, it's
verbally.
Marburg virus. It's like Ebola.
Yes, that's the one.
So, what I'm seeing is that they, oh, let's see here. They're doing rigorous contact tracing to keep track. I mean, so people that have had confirmed contact with confirmed positive people have tested negative. Um, I mean, I think the only thing we can do at this point is keep an eye on it because it's only in Rwanda at this point.
Okay.
And, if it turns out to be something that this US state or the CDC recommends against, then I guess we have to make a call, or individuals can make a call, and certainly that would be something I'm sure the travel insurance would cover, if yeah, well, yeah, well, I don't know that we would decide not to go as a group unless it became an epidemic in the next 2 months, but um
Okay.
definitely I make a note to keep track of that. And maybe even by next week when we have our other call, there'll be some kind of an update. So I'll check on that.
And you had mentioned in a prior video that you use natural oils to prevent mosquito bites. I was wondering which
Yeah.
natural oils you use.
Yeah. So I want to preface it by saying that I don't get bit a lot as it is. So I don't know how effective it is. I take with me the nasty DEET stuff just to make sure, in case it gets bad. But I have an oil from doTERRA, doTERRA Essential Oils.
Yes.
It's called Terra Terra something. And it is a bug. It is made for this. Terra, can't remember what it's called, but I mix it in with just regular lotion and use it on my body. Um, Terra, well, I might have to look that up as well because I can't think of Terra Sense. No, that's not right. Terra Shield, that's what it is. Terra Shield. And it comes
Okay.
in a couple of different forms. I think they have a roll-on and they have an oil you can mix with things. And they might even have a spray, but you can, if you want to try it and you want to like, um, I, I have, so I put it in with my lotion, but I think I also put it in with a little bit of, um, well, no, I guess my lotion just turns to liquid. So I have it kind of in an oil. So fractionated coconut oil is another oil that you can mix the oils with and they spread. It spreads throughout. So that's what I try to use only. Like I said, though, if I get in an area that seems like it's really bad, then I will use the full on, Ben's, I think it's called Ben's brand, BENS, with wipes. So I just take wipes, a package, individually packaged wipes so that they're easy to get, through the airplane. And I only take out what I need for a day. I don't have to take a whole big container with me. Same with my sunscreen. I take individual packages so that I don't have to carry bottles with me. I just take what I need.
Um, I haven't been to South Africa in 5 years, but when I was in South Africa, they recommended spraying our clothes with, I think it was permethrin.
Yep. Yep.
Is that a recommendation you would have?
I do. Now that you mention it, I do often spray my clothes, so that might be one of the reasons I don't have a problem with bugs too. I also take things like my scarves. So I don't like to wear a lot of clothes. And I don't like the sun. I don't like to get sunburned. So I might take something, it might be hard for you to see, but this is just a yellow scarf. And I might spray my scarves with the bug spray as well, as long as it's not something I'm breathing through. So I have scarves like for dusty roads, and then I have like more like bandanas, and then I also have the scarves that I use to keep the sun off me that I also spray. You can also buy clothes and articles of, different clothing articles that are pre-sprayed, if you don't want to spray them yourself. I'm close to an REI, and that's where I buy the permethrin spray, but you can probably get it from Amazon too. But yeah, I guess I do. I've sprayed my socks before, I've sprayed my pants before. So it helps. It might help.
Okay, so when I know you're talking about next September as opposed to this December,
Okay.
but the places we're going to visit December are similar. So when I
So
tell the
yep.
pharmacy,
Oh yeah, exactly. So we're going to the same parks. So we start in Nairobi. That's where you fly into. We go to
yes,
Samburu,
yes,
and then Ol Pejeta, which is very close to Samburu. Naivasha, Naivasha is in between Ol Pejeta and then Masai Mara.
okay, okay,
Yeah. But then you're doing the additional trip. So then
yes,
you are also going to Mombasa, which is on the beach.
yes, Mambasa.
Mombasa.
Okay,
And then you're going to a village. It's probably, they'll never find the actual village, but if you tell them you're going to Hola, Hola,
okay,
it's 4 hours north of Mombasa.
okay,
So, and then those are the locations you'll be going.
okay, okay. That really helps a lot. I think you've answered all my questions.
Okay. Good. Well, while you're thinking, Bridget, do you have any questions?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I was asleep and I've just woken up. So I
Okay.
couldn't stay awake until the start of this, and then I just woke up. So I'll have to catch up with everything tomorrow when I wake up again.
Okay. Well, feel free to email me and you let me know what questions you have.
Sure, I
Yeah.
will. But you've got this recorded and it will be sent, right?
Yes.
Or I can access it.
And I sure hope I do. Yes, it's recording.
I think you do. Sorry, I'm not online because I'm in bed.
Okay.
Or I haven't got my camera on.
No problem. That's fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah. All
Look
right,
forward to
Linda,
it.
you think of anything else?
when I took the malaria pills last time, they they created extreme diarrhea for me. So my doctor this time said to take quinine, and
Oh,
so that wouldn't create I mean, I actually decided it would be safer to get malaria than take the pills because I was in the bathroom 24/7.
oh yeah. Wow, that's not good.
So that gets me a little anxiety.
Yeah. I can understand. It's hard to go on safari if you're in the bathroom.
So
So
chloric, I think it's chloroquine that I
chloroquine, maybe,
chloroquine,
or
yes,
hydrochloroquine. I
yes.
yeah, I don't know much about the side effects of that one. Have you taken it before?
No, whatever I took last time was with a different doctor and it was horrible. And I only saw one mosquito in South Africa and he was 3/4 dead. So it, it I didn't even think about it. I'm my body attracts mosquitoes, so if there is one mosquito within a mile of me, it will
You
land
get
on
it.
me.
Okay. Um, yeah. Well, you might want to have a backup plan. I don't know that that medication is going to cause you problems, but there's also another one people take, doxycycline, um, because it seems like uh, the usual malaria pill has uh, that medication in it, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I can't remember. It's been too long since I've actually looked at them. I used to work in pharmacy, but the memory lapses when you haven't worked at it in 10, 15 years. So I think yeah, it would might be safe just to have a backup plan just in case, you do get diarrhea or you do have some kind of reaction to it.
I have a prescription for low modal and I take Imodium.
Oh, okay.
So I will bring both of those, but
Yeah.
I was chastised for not having a um, prebiotic, I think,
Mm,
a probiotic.
really?
Yeah, they said because what they said was like you take your probiotic, you eat, and then you take the pill 4 hours later, and that should help prevent diarrhea.
Oh, that's the
They
first
said,
I've
oh,
heard of that.
it's an antibiotic, so of course you need a probiotic. And I'm like, oh God.
Interesting. I've never heard that.
Oh,
So that's really
okay.
interesting.
Okay.
Huh.
Well, I'll come with low modal and Imodium. So
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry someone chastised you for that. That's not nice. It's like you're feeling bad enough about it. That's the last thing that needs to happen.
I know. It was a pharmacist too. So okay. All right. I'll probably get the other shots. And I will bring DEET and Prometheon on my clothes. Okay.
And I will say this goes to anyone for every trip. I always have, so I can't speak too far in the future. Right now, one of our guides is an EMT. So he always has stuff. I always have stuff with me, and almost all the guests always have extra stuff with me in case or with them in case someone needs, some kind of medical need, no matter what it is. it's almost always covered. So
Okay,
someone always has something.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. And, all right, then I can fill out the form for Costco.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And like I said, I'm happy to answer questions. People that are watching this later, please let me know what your questions are, and look forward to talking with you later, Lindy, and
Yes,
potentially you, Bridget, and you all
Sure.
have a good evening. Get some sleep, Bridget, and
Oh, thank
you have a
you.
good
Yes,
night
I
as
will
well,
go back
Linda.
to sleep right now. Okay.
All
Thanks a
right.
lot.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
thank
All
you
right.
very
Bye.
much.
Okay, you're welcome.